Let me tell you first. I didn't even tell you all that. Like, happy New Year, happy new decade.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
To you too.
And congrats to you. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the first time I've seen you like in a minute.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it definitely feels good to see you though.
Definitely does. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the show, Mad City. You know what I'm saying? Like, we on video now. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Do I call you queen or princess? Because on Instagram you got princess. Princess T.
I like queen though. I rock out with either or. I do like
Queen?
the queen. That's cool with me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So long as it's royalty, right?
Yep. Period.
That's cool though. So like, this the you know what I'm saying, the one and only Tierra. Y'all don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like you do everything in the beauty industry from eyelashes to makeup and also hair too. What made you get into those type of businesses?
To be honest, I was interested because me being a female, especially being in college, that's something that I'm always investing in. I'm paying endless money just trying to get some weave, you know, into my makeup, trying to get my lashes done, and it came to a point like financially, you know, I should learn how to do these trades. Sometimes I feel like we fail to do research on our own, but we'd rather pay other businesses to get it done. So why not take that time to invest in yourself or see if you can do something or start a business? So it kind of just started with the
So it was like kind of like you went to the store and you tired of like keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Paying for that. How you know you get it for the low? I feel you on that. You feel me? Like,
so I started doing my research because I used to get crazy with it because I like raw hair. So I would end up spending like too much, like $300-$400 on hair, and the quality isn't all that. So then that made me start doing research. Like, oh well, let me see what this quality is really about.
So you got to get that shit from like, overseas, right?
That's where I get mine from. Yeah.
That's crazy though. So like that money be them hair be causing y'all hair like $300-$400.
Listen,
like
it's serious.
Like some joints always be like, yo, you need $400, $500. I'm like, I don't got that. Like, what you mean? Like,
kind of rough, but she started talking that bundle like that.
So was you always like this, like your hustler, like ambition mentality, like when you was always growing up?
Honestly, I think it like was brought into me because of how I was raised. Because like some back history in me, both of my parents are mentally disabled, so it's like I'm growing up dealing with my dad. He's having cerebral palsy. My mom was diagnosed with bipolar type 2. So I didn't really have time to really be a kid. Sometimes I felt like I was like trying to mend their wounds.
You had to grow up a little
faster. Yeah, I had to grow fast, and we never really had a lot of money. So I was always trying to think of ways to like implement on that, you know, make money, find ways to just be on my own. So me growing up was always kind of independent. I always figured out ways to get my own money. So it kind of flowed together.
Shit, that's dope for real. Like, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Because some people now, they still be trying to look for the money, you know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be crazy. So how did you start getting into like the lashes and hair industry? Like how did you first start getting into like...
It's funny because I used to sell hair for a whole other company before I started my own. So it was called MADD. So basically they had like this program where you could join and get like 15% profits, I think it was, for doing their sales. So I started off like making an IG page and like promoting their hair basically. Like it was under me, but it was through them. And I was just realizing like as sales started to come, I was like, really, I could be getting all this, you know, taking all the profit for myself. And that kind of had me thinking, and I'm like, I could create my own name. I don't have to be under somebody. So it really started off with me starting off like that, and then realizing that I
was you getting good money though? Like, was it?
It was okay,
it was good?
But I feel like you doing too much. Like you really busting your behind for 15% of a sale. When you realize what you could have made, you kind of feel crazy.
And this was in Delaware, like up here in Dover, right?
Yeah, this is where I did it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so.
But I think Maven, that company in itself, they have different platforms like around the world. But I did it out here.
Oh, so you was like the head honcho, like in Dover, like you know what I'm saying, like the base.
And it's like when I first started selling, I was like basically getting their hair, and I was selling it out of like a little cubby, like out of my room.
What year was
this? I started in 2017, but I didn't get my business license until 2018. So it was really just like, oh, let's just sell some hair. It was like, and the crazy thing is, girls used to always ask me when I had my hair done, like, where do you get your hair from? So that's like how it started. I'm like, well, I might as well just sell it.
Is this like, cause you know I'm from DC, so is it like, is it like kind of like fast, like as far as like the like fashion, like keeping up the par? Is it like up to like that, like as far as like a city environment?
Are you saying is it like fast paced with
hair. Like with hair, like you have like a lot of people, a lot of females or just people in general asking you like.
Actually, yeah, I was shocked because when I started the business, I didn't really have any business experience for real. You know what I mean? So I was kind of going outside of my box, and when I did it, I was getting like fast responses because I felt like people believed in like what I thought was quality, you know what I mean? So just having that trust and being genuine as a person, people gravitated like towards me like, oh, I know she got some good bundles. You know what I mean? That's how it was, so it's cool.
So where did you get all, okay, so yeah, you got all your ambition, you say from like, so like when you was in like, were you always smart? Like in math, like was you always smart?
Math is not, and it's crazy because I'm like a reading person. I am not a math person. Like
really?
I could get a B in math, but I get frustrated by math. I don't like prolonged formulas. So it's like funny, they be like, so how do you be an entrepreneur? You're not like, that's not your strong point. But it's a different thing because I feel like when I'm selling hair, I'm selling lashes, it's really about passion and like the money comes. I didn't really focus on that. I just focused on like making sure like my customer service was good. I'm kind to everybody.
So it was never about the money at first?
Of course it is gonna be about the money, but I started off wanting to start a business, but wanting to put it out in the way that I wanted to do it.
So you wanted like ownership, like in life, just in general, like. Just in
general, and I knew that. Well, I just believe in the fact that if you do things that you're passionate about, that money will come. But you can't have the mentality that it is of course it's a business, but you can't come in like, oh, well, penny pinching people and it's all about money, because that does not increase sales. You know what I mean? You just have to be a people person, be patient, and learn that you have to learn the needs of your audience. Knowing your audience is really key, and it all flows together. It really.
So what kept your ambition though? Like what kept you like inspired to just keep going with the entrepreneurship?
I think honestly, it'll sound crazy, but like learning from mistakes, like my failures, and then knowing where I could improve, and then also seeing like the positives of it, like seeing that people love. Like when I first started, I didn't even really have as much faith in myself as I should have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like people came to me, people are looking up to you, people are loving what you do, and they're coming back based off of like how you treat them, the product. And how you carry it. So I think that made me more interested and branding was fun for me too. Like being able to come up with your own ideas and spin it how you want to, decorate things how you want to. Like I'm a creative in general. Like I love all that type of stuff. Like I love.
So you got like a vision, like.
Yeah, I think really just having control of it and doing things how you want to is what drove me to want to continue to do it, because I'm like, you're doing things your own way, you're really being your own boss, and I idolize stuff like that, you know what I mean, like looking up to people that do that or take the initiative to be a leader. So
how you stay so humble though, because like you just said, like growing up you didn't have a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, and like a lot of people like with that type of like mentality growing up, they're like spending it, they're like, oh, I gotta, because they want revenge, like they're like in a sort of way, quote unquote, they shit on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you just stay humble. Like, ever since I know you, you've been humble. You know what I'm saying? You're a humble person. Like,
I just think it's really my personality, and when you really you come from not really having much. I feel like that really humbles you in yourself. Like some people, they get they get their head blown up, but for me, I just always want to remain true to myself. Like that's not how I am. I don't care if I was a millionaire one day. I would still be the nicest person when you talk to me. Because I feel like people remember that. People remember how you treat them. You know what I mean? What was said to them. And especially being like a black-owned business, I feel like we have a higher, reputation to uphold. You know what I mean? You can't act like that, especially because they don't support us enough now. So making sure that you carry it the way that you need to ensures, you know what I mean? Maybe people will trust more in black-owned businesses and support us. So I feel like it's important. That's
the truth. So like people nowadays, they like to bite on people's style and hustles. Like, like for example, with the lashes. Like, I ain't see a bigger boom like this since the crack, and I wasn't even born in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, so like everybody doing the lashes. So like, how do you manage to go at your own pace and not worry about things of that nature? Like just keep doing you, like you just said.
Like not comparing to other
brands and companies. Like
that is hard, because I remember when I was first starting, I wanted to be like Dare to Have Hair. If you know who they I wanted to be like her. I was like, no, I'm not doing enough. Like she's out here doing that. But you have to really just talk to yourself and realize comparison is really the root of evil. Every time you compare yourself, that's not adding growth to your business. You have to really just stay in the lane that you're in and be ready to expand and be hungry, but at the same time, you know, understand where you are, and things don't happen overnight. And I think that's why a lot of people don't continue business, because they think that, you know, it's going to be an overnight process.
Overnight process. It might take a year.
Not how it goes. Yeah.
2, might take 3. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep going. Like as you know, we both we doing things like that's going to take quite some time. You know what I'm saying? But we in it for the long run. You know what I'm saying? So how was like but like I was saying, like now I see you the CEO of All Eyes on Me hair company. How did that all happen? Like,
how did I think of it and everything?
Yeah, like how did you even start all that? Like that's a dope name, All Eyes on Me.
It's crazy and it's so weird. I didn't come up with that by myself.
Okay.
I was staying off of campus. I had got my first place. I was staying at my grandmom's. She had just passed away. And my ex now, but he was my boyfriend at the time. He kept pushing.
Is y'all both helping each, like, you know, benefiting, like, as far as the business goes?
The crazy thing is the business. I feel like that was when we was on our way out. That's when I really started seeing true colors, because we couldn't agree eye to eye on certain business tactics. Like the way I did things wasn't the way he did things, and he wanted to kind of be like over. I don't want to say he knew it was my business, but he was. So we're both stubborn and trying to, like, you know, my visions wasn't his vision, so it didn't really work. But we did kind of come up with the name together, because we were like sitting in the room and he kept pushing me to start selling hair, because it was like everywhere, you know, I would kind of go there like, oh, where you get your hair from? He's like, man, you might as well just sell it, you know, and he would joke about it. But I'm like, you know, I've always had an interest in wanting to sell hair, and not even just hair, but own multiple businesses in general, you know what I mean? But that is something that I wanted to get into. Yeah. And we just sat down for like probably a week and was just scratching off different names. And we both came to the agreement of All Eyes on Me, because of the fact that it seemed like the center of attention. Like, I want to emphasize on feminine beauty, you know what I mean? Feeling confident, and not that you need weave, but when you know, it's like enhancing your beauty, so when you do get it, you know, you really feeling fly. And it's same with lashes. Like, right. I never say that you need these things, but if you know, you're going out, you stepping out, whatever occasion it is, I felt like that name really fit what I wanted to create, you know what I mean?
Okay, so does he still have like part of like ownership?
Honestly, he didn't even get that far. He left me way before it got to
just the idea.
Yeah, he really helped me with the idea, and we probably flipped hair like one time together, and then he was kind of out the picture. So I would have continued, and it was crazy because when I was in the process of like getting my website built, everything was kind of like linked to him. So I think it would have built up to that, but we didn't get that far.
So you had a team around you. Like you just said, you didn't
honestly
do it.
Oh, you said what now?
No, I was saying, so you have a team around you, like starting the process of being the CEO of your own hair company, because it doesn't take like one man to do everything.
I was gonna say, you'll think I'm crazy. Like, I always had people around me that gave like good ideas. I didn't really have a lot of people as far as help. I did network like while I was here. It's a girl named Nisa. She's here, and we networked as far as like creating wigs. Yeah, shout out to her. She is lit. Like, she used to. I mean, she's still here actually, I think. And she slay wigs. I don't know if she's still doing that, but she is. She slay wigs. Like, I will partner up with like girls that were either stylists, you know what I mean? But as far as like the business aspect, because I'm a sole proprietorship, I didn't really need a lot of help, because I'm just the type of person that I can manage a lot of different things. I do feel like for the future, I do want to develop a team, but it's been at a pace where I can do everything myself, because like being a lash tech, I can do that on my own. You know, I set my schedule. I have my own clientele. For the website, I set it up where, you know, I did get help to get the website created, but I understand how to manage it myself. So I go in every day and check orders and inventory. So it's stressful, and it was really stressful, like doing it through school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you was doing a lot. Like, yeah. So you was doing all of this during school?
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, you don't think that put like a lot of like mental wear and tear on you, like, because you just doing it by yourself?
Honestly, I would say yes, because there was a lot of demand, and sometimes I wasn't expecting for it to be the way that it was. And with business, it's like sometimes it's fast, and then sometimes it's slow. Sometimes you can get a break, and then sometimes, like, say for instance, it's homecoming. Everybody needs hair, and you want to go to homecoming, but you need to make sure all this is taken care of first. So it's like I
got
had to learn to
prioritize. Got slave, you know?
Yeah, I definitely had to learn to like prioritize and get it together and try to be professional, you know? Because sometimes you lose. I felt like it's easy to lose sight of that, like when you're in college, because you just want to be, you know, you want to be a college girl. Sometimes you don't. Somebody, you know, might not have talked to you how you wanted them to talk to you that day, but you still have to keep it cute and talk to them with the utmost respect.
So was it like growing up, like, did you think that gave you more an advantage? Like you saying, like just growing up faster, you know what I'm saying? Like being mostly on yourself, because I'm like the only child too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to grow up kind of fast in a sort of way too. And like, you know, when you go to college, you got a network, you be around more people. So you feel like it gave you more advantage when you came in?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I really think that helped me build connections with a lot of different people. I met stylists while I was here. Girls that, you know, where I would have had to look for models, you could just, you know, reach out to campus and they right here. So I just felt like I got support when it came to that. And it taught me a lot too, because there's also like other entrepreneurs on campus. So we was always like able to put our head together sometimes and come up with dope ideas.
So, you know, we live in a crazy time nowadays, so bad that people sometimes prey on our downfall. And you were just saying, like, a lot of people got different, you know what I'm saying, different businesses and all that. You feel like, and some people don't, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be crazy because, like, the closest people around us be having the most envy. You feel like some people envy you for creating and progressing with all your crafts and all your brands and all that?
I think sometimes, yeah. Actually, in the beginning, I dealt with that a lot. Like it was one girl that I was gonna have my first photo shoot. That was so stressful. I thought I just wanted to quit the whole business because it overwhelmed me for real. Like just getting a few girls together to do a photo shoot made me contemplate, because it was girls that was in the shoot that like canceled last minute, didn't even give me a heads up. It was one girl, she's from DC, but I think she was like a local. She started her little rap career, and she was so bougie. Like the whole time I was planning a photo shoot, I'm telling everybody, it was around New Year's too, and I was telling everybody to wear gold. She wanted to wear silver, so she was just like doing the most. And then it was like I was getting their hair together for free, you know what I mean? But she
so you was putting everything together, like you was like the boss, like you was trying to. He was like, oh God, like you gotta
she was killing me, but it was crazy because we were friends. And long story short, we were friends initially, and then it broke up that little friendship or bond, whatever we want to call it, we had, just trying to put that together because she wanted to do things her way. And it's like, not to be rude, you know what I mean, but it's not your vision, and this how I want to do it. And it'll be stuff like that. So she hated on me and went on social media and was like, oh,
but you feel like it's because like you mix the business with like the friendship in a sort of way, because you know they say sometimes you can't really mix
both. I don't think you should. Together. I really don't think you should. And the crazy thing about it was, I think that she mistook me, and that could be very well because she knew I was such like a sweet person that she was trying to press my buttons. You know what I mean? Because it was like when it came to, I got their makeup done, their hair done, and it was like she wanted to pick out who was going to do the makeup. Like, why does it matter if you're not paying? Like, it was stuff like that. And it's like, I feel like people try to push on people to see how they're going to act. Like, she was kind of waiting for me to get out of character so she could run and say, oh, this is a business, this is how you act. So it's like, you got to watch things like that. So I feel like it can be envy when we could have just, and it's sad because especially being black, like I want us to come together and work. Like I could have helped promote her music, she could have helped promote my hair, it could have been in the music video, you know what I mean? Like
everybody, if you
think in futuristic, everybody wins. But it's like when you have an attitude problem, or you know, you don't know how to really talk to people, that doesn't get far. So that was like a lesson I really learned, you know what I mean? Because I didn't get disrespectful at the end of it all.
So how you think like to fast forward, like how do you think like that can help, like, you know what I'm saying, how can you think that experience, how you think that experience can help you like in the future, like for, you know what I'm saying, because like, you know what I'm saying, like, because you got a big brand that's coming around, you know what I'm saying, and you gotta unfortunately we gotta deal with certain people like that, but that just goes in life. Like you're not gonna always have the people that's on your side, you gotta look at the other side too. That's what the yin and yang in life.
I think it's about having a positive mindset for real, because I could have let her, you know, she spoke down on the business, you know what I mean, when I was first starting off, and it kind of kicked me, you know, because I'm like, I'm just starting, she didn't have to do that, you know, but then you have to look at it like this, and I know it sounds crazy, but her bringing that attention got me some more followers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if it's negative, no, you don't want negative attention, but nobody, it's you can't please everybody in the world.
Right.
Somebody's not going to like it, whether it's high quality, you know what I mean? Somebody might have an experience with you that you're not thinking that you're giving off. So I feel like you can only be the best that you are. You know, try your best to, you know, to be that people person, to understand where everybody's coming from, but you can't do it all. So I think realizing that going forward, and then also taking that situation and critiquing it, like, oh, for future, get professional models or people, like the next time, the second shoot that I did it with girls that was on campus, but they were like, and the crazy thing is they were actually cool with me, but they handled themselves way more professional. And it was crazy because the first time I did the shoot, I have reached out to girls that like really model out here. It was some girls that weren't professional and some girls that were, but the professional ones was the one that flaked, you know what I mean? Because they had other opportunities, or they felt like, oh, you know, I don't have time for that because I'm doing this bigger thing, you know? So you have to know, like, who you're reaching out to and if they're going to be dedicated to what you have going on, because some people don't respect your vision because it's not their vision.
Right.
Like, if it was theirs, they would have been there
all
all
the
the time.
that selfish
you know
mindset, like, everybody is, you know what I'm saying, dog-eat-dog world, but like I said, fast forward to the day currently, you know what I'm saying, you graduated, congratulations, you know what I'm saying, from Dallas State. We both attended, I'm still going here, you know what I'm saying. And we both is in the same major, psychology. Has life been different since you graduated from Dell State, as far as more exposure for your brand, or just like in like general for you, like?
Honestly, for the brand, now that I have the website, when I was leaving, when I was on my way out, I have launched the website because I launched it actually on my birthday of last year.
Okay.
So it was like just getting exposure because, you know, before then I was just taking orders by, you know, whenever it was a request. But now it's starting to catch on because that being online is lit to me, because I feel like not only are you networking locally, but you can reach out to, you know, people in different states, and, you know, if they find your website, that's bringing you more attention. So I feel like it is starting to pick up a little bit more. And just in general, after school, I feel like it's continued. And then I did lashes on my way out too. I got certified in lash tech. So that's something that's still
so everybody was
building.
like pulling, like everybody from Dallas State, all the females, all the drinks, they're already in your name.
And I think that helps so much, and I thought it would change, like, even with me leaving, but it's kind of cool, because, like, even
I
some
be seeing them rock your lashes. They out there now rocking them. I be seeing them. I see them rocking.
Yes, they be popping. But it's dope, because I feel like those connections didn't die, like, even after, you know, or they know to hit me up, and I'm still around, so.
Right. That's cool, though. That's cool. So you feel like as going to college gave you more of an advantage? Because, like, from a business standpoint, most people would advise you not to go to college as far as, like, business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you went the opposite way. Like, you took that, you know what I'm saying, that old mentality.
I did my own.
Right. You put your own vision on it. So you feel like they gave you, like I said, like a more advantage or disadvantage?
I honestly, I think so, because you're meeting people that you wouldn't have known. And me, naturally, it really brought me out of my comfort zone, because I'm naturally shy. So I think if I was to start a business and not go to college, I wouldn't have reached out to people like I did, or really got outside of my comfort zone. I probably would have been more in a bubble, you know what I mean? Not to say that it wouldn't have developed into something great, but I think it got more exposure from being here.
Was you doing hair before college? Like
the crazy thing is, no. Like, I always had an interest in doing my own hair, but I didn't get into making wigs till I was here, and it was really because I was around certain people, you know what I mean, that was making wigs, and I'm like, you know, you sit around stuff for a while, you're just like, oh, it ain't even that hard to do this. Like, I could teach myself this. Like, my best friend, she was making wigs, you know what I mean, and she went here, and me just being around her a couple times, I'm like, you know, could you teach me that? You know, so it's just really being around people that want you to grow, want you to succeed, and people that don't have a problem or feel like they too good. I don't want you to know what I'm doing or what I got going. When you have the mentality that we can all eat, we can all win, I feel like that's how people really succeed in this life. Like, we need to work together, and that's when I really truly grew, like, being around friends like that.
But some people would say, that's pointless, though. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you waste your time? Because it's time, too, you wasting. Like, you wasting a lot of time. Like, what would you say about that? Like, how you feel about that? Like, when you wasting, like I said, business standpoint, like, I'm not saying you wasting it, but in the sort of way, time goes by 4 years, you know what I'm saying? That 4 years from your business standpoint could have been.
You saying you could have been
invested.
like further in it, or
Yeah.
I feel like it's give and take, because I feel like college teaches you a lot of different things, like, you know, your different coursework, you're learning the mentality of people. Like, I would have learned these things out in the world, but I feel like it really emphasizes it on college, like in college. So I don't think it was a waste of time. You know what I mean? I really don't. I think that being in college gave me time to really figure out what direction I wanted to do with the business. It showed me different people. It let me learn trial and error now, which I probably would have learned out there. So I don't really think, the only thing I can say is, you know, sometimes you had to dedicate more to studies than that. And I mean, that is a downfall to it all. But I kind of like to have a little bit of everything. So if I can have my degree and then still pursue entrepreneurship,
right? You was trying to do both. Why not? Yeah, that's smart.
You
like you just said, ownership.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why not have? Because like education weighs a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the black community. Like a lot of people nowadays, they don't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Rock said, like one of his specials, like the dude from that go to college, like he don't get no love, like you smarty pants, like but when we come home from jail, you get all the love in the world. You know what I mean?
Supporting mindset, and especially where we come from in our history, I think that we need to get out of that. You know, if society is destined for us to fail, we need to like push through those loopholes. We need to be wanting to be educated, and we want to, you know, in the future when we have kids, we need to instill that in them. Like, we need to have this mindset that knowledge is really power. Why do we want to be dumb in the streets? Where does that get us? But locked up and in the system. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting nowhere. You should want wealth for yourself. People sit up and they look at Beyonce and Jay-Z all day. You know what I mean? He ain't worried about that. He's not in the streets. He's worrying about his wealth and how to create more. So I feel like when we start to take that type of mentality on more, we can start to develop better strategies in life. Like, you know, expand our minds. We be too closed-minded trying to, and in the clout and all that, it doesn't get you anywhere. So I feel like if you take the time to really just sit and realize where you want to be, that's where you really need to start thinking. Like,
yeah, I noticed last year you was working with the Senate in Delaware to legalize marijuana.
Yeah. How's
that been coming along?
Actually, I just met up with them because we went out for lunch for celebrate like my
recently?
graduation. Yeah, actually like 2 weeks ago, they linked up with me, and it was so dope because I love working with it was Zoe Patchell. I was working with Thomas Donovan. He's like one of the top defense attorneys. It was really dope seeing them again, and they were talking about it like it's a slow progress because, you know, especially being in Delaware, a lot of people don't want to accept it. They're afraid of like what the future could hold.
Is it legal out in Delaware?
No, it's not. They're basically trying to push for cannabis. It's not legal here, but they basically feel like it's on the verge of becoming legalized.
Yeah,
like
everywhere.
Honestly,
business is booming. Like, why not? Like,
we actually lobbied for it, and it was like interesting to see that like firsthand, different perspectives of it. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, like some people really calm down from marijuana, you know what I mean? It's a relaxer, and you don't take the negative outlook of marijuana. You understand that some people it's necessary, you know, and they really were arguing for it. They were like attorneys there arguing for it, pushing for it.
How'd you get into all that though? Like, how'd you start like with the politics? Like,
honestly, from like criminal justice, in my internship, I had my internship with them. Who was that? It was one of the professors here, and he put me on to them. He was like, "You're gonna vibe well with them." And when I went there, basically, yeah, he was lit. Bad wall, yeah, he's that dude. But he had put me there basically to learn a lot of insight on, you know, I had a mindset about the criminal justice system. Like, I feel like it's a trap. You know, they put us in it and they can't get out. Being there taught me a lot because they do things like the 5K run. They do like a marathon to basically push for ways to get people work outside of, you know, getting out of prison, and they try to push for issues to not go through recidivism, like going back, you know what I mean? So things like that are like important to me. I really care about it in the community because I feel like once you mess up, it's kind of like that label follows with you forever, and it's like, especially when you do something young. So the fact that they were pushing for that, like I got to see caseloads of, you know, going to the courtrooms and seeing how people's lives were ruined over like a bag of marijuana, and they're serving unnecessary time. So it's like,
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like seeing that really motivated me to like want to support their cause because it's bigger fish to fry in my eyes than if somebody smokes or if they don't smoke. You know what I mean? Or if they have a little dime bag of weed, like it's bigger drugs, it's bigger issues, and I feel like it needs to be treated more of like a mental situation than a crime, because that's extra space in jail that doesn't need to be held. You know what I'm saying? When there's killers out here and rapists out here, it's just other issues that need to be addressed that aren't getting properly addressed.
So when some of your clients see you like working with the politicians for legalization of marijuana, do they feel like any type of way? Like they perceive you in a different way? And
they might. Honestly, I never really got anyone to say that they had a problem with it. I got more positive feedback about it. Like, oh, I see what you're doing, because a lot of people honestly smoke, and some people are ashamed to say it, or like they feel the work, they don't want to bring that up, you know what I mean? Because they feel like, oh, you know, I'm not really supposed to do this in my field of work, so I'm not going to support this cause. And even when we was lobbying for it, we saw that it was governors that supported. Behind closed doors, they'd be like, yeah, we might as well just legalize it. But we get up there, they're sitting up tight, and they don't really want to address this issue because they feel like, you know, that'll lose their votes or their supporters. So it's like, it's such a touchy subject, but it is something that really can be addressed, because it's like, no, why, you know what I mean? Why are people serving 5 years or more for this crime? You know, why is that really considered a crime when it's a plan? Like,
Definitely for sure. I also see you that you started working as a counselor, a substance abuse counselor to be exact. Congratulations on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? How did you manage to get into like all that right there? Like, you just had to. How did you get into that?
To be honest, it's networking, because one of my friends, and she went here too, but she graduated a few years back. She's working there. She works for Connections now. And she had went back to get her master's. So
and that's the place that's doing the Connections?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it all, she was like, this really relates to, you know, criminal justice, psychology, the fact that she's working with people with substance abuse issues, drug issues, so she could kind of put me onto it, and I had applied for it. And the crazy thing is, before I applied to it, I'm working for a company that's kind of similar, but it's different. It's called Delaware Mentor. So I always had experience like working with people with mental disabilities. So it's like I have kind of like a kindness in my heart for that. Like, I really enjoy, you know, helping them with their value of life, or seeing a positive of life. Like, they, you know, some of these people don't have family to go home to. You know, they have severe autism, they have different disabilities, but you still helping them go to the beach, like enjoy their lives. So I felt like this is like a level up from the position of I was a direct support staff there. This is something, you know, where I'm actually counseling. But, you know, of course this was drugs, but it all goes hand in hand, because some of them have mental disabilities as well. So it's like having that experience, then also being able to tie it into this. And then, you know, my upbringing, being around mental disabilities all the time, it's like second nature, really.
So yeah, you think that's like gave you more like a heavy influence as far as like showing more empathy. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't. Because a lot of people don't understand, like, you know what I'm saying, like having to deal with that, especially with both parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and then like with the mental illness, you know what I'm saying, like a lot going on with our community. Like, it's just a blessing. Like, we got more people in the system, because like life is systems, you know what I'm saying, and like we need more people in my opinion, in the criminal justice system, and also in the not even just mental health, but just health period.
I agree. I feel like there needs to be more understanding of it. You know what I mean? It's like even with the criminal justice system, police, they don't even know really how to deal with people in society that have mental illnesses if they pull them over. You know what I mean? Training for this needs to be done. We need to have more of a direction towards mental health, you know what I mean, and really having to care for it. So it's something.
So how do you manage to deal with your mental health? Because you, like I said, you are an entrepreneur, you do a lot of things, and you also have a 9-to-5 job. How do you balance that and still manage your businesses?
It gets hard. It's been a couple times where I've been really stressed out. Sometimes I just get ghost sometimes, and I don't mean to, and that was something I had to like correct in myself, because regardless of what you really feel like, you have to keep going, you have to keep posting, you have to keep marketing your business. So that's something that it just taught me strength. It's like, you know, you may not really feel like it today, but get up and just keep pushing. So I think that having a business actually gave me purpose, in a sense, to do things when I didn't really want to, or when my mental state might not have been all the way there, because it's like people are looking forward to that, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was positive for me, you know, and I had actually dealt with depression in the past, so I feel like being able to overcome certain things and just represent that strength, and that other ladies can look up to you, is positive. So that's how I look at it.
You think your experiences like a lot of people can relate to them, and like as far as like you being in the entrepreneurship field, you feel like that gives you like more fuel for your morals, like for your moral reasoning, for like the reason why you're doing this, like everything you're doing in life. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to briefly. I kind of went kind of deep, right there. You know what I mean? Like,
what you asking me?
I'm like, nah, I went a little too deep. You know what I mean?
Nah, I just like say what you said because I feel like I kind of get what you're saying.
Like, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of lost my train of thought, but like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's a new year. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you see yourself being in this predicament 10 years ago? Like.
Honestly, no. I didn't think that I would have been like bold enough to kind of take that leap of faith into starting a business, but I am glad that I did. It showed me a lot of personal growth. It built my confidence in myself. It got me to like speak up, you know what I mean? Because you know when it's like in a mindset, you know, and I used to do sales too. Like I used to sell furniture. You can't be shy because it's embarrassing. When I first started selling furniture, I was like too shy.
Furniture?
Yeah, I used to sell furniture before.
Oh, like Brenner Center?
Yo, I used to work at it was this company. I don't know if you know it is one out here though, but it was called Johnny Gymnastics. So it's like I felt like all old people go there to shop, yo. But I was selling the furniture.
What you doing working at a furniture store?
I don't know. The pay was alright because it was like commission, but it was like stressing me out because you basically had to sell like $40,000 worth of furniture in a month. So I was.
You only get like 1,000.
Yeah, it was too much. So I was in there stressed, and I'm sitting here remembering that like. I would want the sale, but I was too scared to like speak up, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I would end up like losing money and then realizing that basically if you didn't meet your quota within 3 months, you was out of a job. You had to figure it out, you know what I mean?
That just brings me back to my point. So like, you feel like your experiences helped you like to get to where you at right now, and like going to give you like more fuel for the future, like for your brand, you know what I'm saying? Like just like that's how you just said, like you went through the furniture job, like all these like this experiences, like with depression, like with you know what I'm saying? Like you feel like that just gives you more like inspiration.
I definitely think it gives you more ammo because it's like seeing where you can be, and especially working in a field where it's like, man, when I was selling furniture, it was older people that was like more experienced in it than I was, you know what I mean? And they're like selling every day, and you just realize that had me thinking I'm gonna go back to school because this is out of pocket, you know what I mean? Realizing how you can live, and I think that pushes even more like entrepreneurship because it's like, you know, I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want this low end job. I want to be able to be my own boss. I want to be able to control my hours. I want to be able to, you know, be more business invested in myself than working for another man, you know? You're helping their dream. Why aren't you helping your own dream? Why aren't you doing things that benefit yourself? I think that when we become more selfish-minded when it comes to that and, like, where we're going to be, that's when success will come.
So what would you tell a young lady like yourself, like what would you tell her, like she's trying to get into the field, like you were trying to start her own entrepreneurship? What would you tell her, like, not in sort of way steps, but what would you get, like, what advice would you give her? You know
I would say to just basically come up with her plan, write notes. That was the best thing that I could do for myself. Just basically strategize what you're going to do, because you basically can't deliver the vision that you're trying to put out if you don't plan and you just do. But definitely do, and don't doubt yourself in doing it, because it's the next person that they didn't doubt themselves when they did it, and now they're making money off of what you could have done. You know what I mean? So when you just have that mindset that I can do it, you know what I mean? I believe in my brand. You have to believe in yourself and then believe in your brand, because if you don't believe it, nobody else is going to believe in you. So you have to have that hunger, really.
That's a bar. That's a bar. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? That's it, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You heard from the queen herself, you know what I'm saying? And you heard from the one and only Buddha, you know what I'm saying? It's the one and only show, man. City, you heard?